Hey guys, good night, morning, afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. My son got his fingers all in his nose. Think about it. Let me stop messing with him. He be sleeping, I be messing with him, y'all. Cause he just be so cute. Okay. Anyway, yeah, let me get to this word. So this is actually something that God was speaking to me um earlier. I would say yesterday. I was listening to the Love Bomb playlist. Shout out to everybody that liked the playlist and that's listening to it. I hope that the songs are blessing you and encouraging you, and stirring up that love for your spouse. But yes, the Lord. I was listening to "Lost Without You," and there's one part in particular. This song is by Robin Thicke, and and it really blessed me. This one particular part, and it talked about he said, I'm lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? And he talked about he said tell me okay, Lord, can I this yes, he said, tell me you loved me and all my dirty. It makes a man feel good, baby. Basically, he says, I want to hear you say it, right? And a lot of these spouses, they're going to they're going to need that encouragement. They're going to need they're going to need to hear you say it, right? Now naturally, I'm pretty much a vocal person anyway. Um Especially when it comes to my feelings and stuff like that, but um God was just kind of he's been speaking to me about this for some years now about just teaching me how to build my spouse up with my words, um and how to love on him verbally. Because, everybody's love language is not words of affirmation, right? And that's not necessarily, but every man in some way needs to hear how you feel about them. Like, some of these spouses may have been in situations where verbal abuse was a thing, right? Or maybe they had, I don't know, I don't really know. This is not necessarily my situation, but just speaking, maybe they went through things at a young age, or um maybe they've been in relationships where that was a thing, right? And when Robin Thicke said, I need to hear it, it really just resonated with my spirit. So sometimes your spouse needs to hear how much you care. Your spouse needs to hear that they're doing an amazing job, or that you care for them, or that they inspire you. They need to hear that. We can't always assume this is not we can't always assume that they just know. Oh, you should know that, or you should know that I love you. You should know that I care. That's not always okay. Yeah, do they know that? Right, but like, doesn't it feel good to hear it? Sometimes your spouse needs to hear, babe, you're an amazing leader. You're doing a good job. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing so well. You're an amazing provider. You're so considerate. You're thoughtful. I'm not saying you can't crack jokes with them and have fun with your spouse, right? But sometimes your spouse needs to hear that they're doing a good job, especially because men sometimes, like, the weight of the world can be on their shoulders, and the weight of the world can, the enemy just throwing stuff at them because they're the head, right? So they're the stronger vessel. So sometimes they're taking hits that we don't even know. They're going through things that we don't even know about, and sometimes they need to know, like, hey, my wife appreciates me. My wife cares for me. My wife, oh shoot, sorry. My wife thinks I'm doing a good job, because the enemy will sometimes get in their head and tell them things that are not true. Sometimes sometimes as a wife, you're gonna have to be that center point to to them mentally, right? Like, hey, like, don't listen to the enemy. You're doing an amazing job. Don't listen to the enemy. You're doing great. You're an amazing dad. You're an amazing this. You're an amazing that. And it's not just to stroke their ego, right? We're not doing it, but I'm talking about being able to speak to that man, being able to speak life into him, to speak love into him, to speak to his spirit. As a wife, God has literally given us the tools to speak into our spouses and know what to say at the right time so that they feel appreciated, right? Because everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody. And sometimes they will need to hear it. We can't always assume that they just know. They have to hear it. They have to hear. They have to hear it. So this the word, y'all. That's it. Bye-bye.